Hello everyone, this is the first of the month, 12 Days of Christmas collab, day number 1. And for your listening pleasure, I shall sing to you a little bit of a tune that we like to call the 12 Days of Christmas. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me... Ornaments?
Alright guys, welcome back to Simply Blessed Crafts, and we are starting off with a first of the month and 12 days of Christmas, and our first day is Ornaments, and we are hosted by Rustic and Lace DIYs and Krista's Crafty Life, and DIY number 1. That was a mouthful. Anyway, this one, I had a bunch of these in my stash, and I believe I bought these off Amazon. I do not remember. I've had these in my stash forever. I believe I bought these, a while back because, when I first, wanted to start doing, gnomes, I thought about maybe using these as like little puff balls for the top of their hats and stuff, but I don't think I ever went that direction. But these make adorable little ornaments. I made one last year for my cousin for her tree, and I never filmed it because I usually do this every year, but I end up taking about a couple of weeks off right before Christmas, just so I have a little time for downtime to take a break. But basically, I'm just taking a little scrap piece of sock, and I am just going around and gluing the little bit around the little puff ball here. They do come with a little like a little tie string down there that where you can use for any kind of like key ring or anything like that. I've seen them as keychains and everything like that. So I'm just basically tying a little string down there for the actual hanger. I did glue a nose down there, you saw that, and I did glue the hat down to his little nose. And now I'm just taking a jute twine, and I am just going to tie the jute twine around that little spot up there on his hat. And we're just going to use that as his little embellishment for his hat. And then you basically have a built-in beard. You don't even have to use the beards for them. And you can make a bunch of these, you guys. I mean, I don't know how much this bag costs, but I mean, you get the entire bag. Here I'm actually starting off with the little twine for the tie. I did cut this. I mean, I'm out of frame. I ended up zooming in way too much, but I'm out of frame. But I did cut the sock off to what I thought was the right size. I ended up cutting it back a little bit more, but here we're just kind of pushing this brim up a little bit. I do glue his nose down, and we're just gonna glue his little hat right down to his little nose, and then we're gonna glue the hat around his body, beard, whatever you want to call it. Again, kind of like I did briefly show you in the past one. I mean, these ones are very, very simple to do. You just need the puff balls. You probably can even get these at like a Ben Franklin, or Hobby Lobby might even have them. I'm not even sure, you guys. I just know that I'm pretty sure I ordered these off of Amazon and I got the entire bag. I could probably try looking the price of them up and try to link them in the description box below if I remember to do that. Like I said, I've had these in my stash probably for a good 2 years now. Maybe a year. but they do absolutely turn out adorable. I even start, this one I kind of cut out a little bit more. I used a scrap piece of sock of this one, but I even start experimenting a little bit more with not using some scraps, and I go with a little bit different versions of these. Like I have like these little hats here that I got from Walmart. So it doesn't even have to be scrap ones, you guys, like scrap fabric. So the only thing is that you have to figure out how to do a hanger. So I did a piece of these are foam. So I used a piece of thread, and I threaded it through with a needle, and then I glued the twine up on the top so it wouldn't pull back through. I didn't knot it or nothing like that, but these aren't very heavy, so it wasn't going to pull through. That's why I used the hot glue on the top. And then I'm just going to glue it down to his little head. And then I do later on, after all this, I do glue a button on top of where that hot glue is to hide the hot glue as well. So you don't even notice all that either. So, but then I just glue the little nose down to right underneath the hat as well. So, I mean, you guys can play around with these too if you'd ever order these. I mean, they're quite simple to do, and you could make a whole bunch of them. You could have like a little gnome tree. Easy for gifts. See, there's the little button. Like I said, you hide the hot glue, so you can't even tell that, you know, I did that with the string. This one, it was actually a gift for me from, oh my gosh, like 5 years ago. I used to wear the headbands that you've seen me wear several times. This is actually a gift. She gave it to me because I used to wear the headbands all the time, and it clipped in my hair, but the clip broke. So I ended up deciding I was going to use it on one of these little gnomes. So I did basically the same thing. I used the thread. I'm just threading my needle right here. Like I said, it got kind of out of frame. But I just basically am threading it right to the top. And I'm just making a loop. And I'm going to do the same thing I did prior to the other one. I'm just going to glue that string to the fabric instead of making the knots in it. Like I said, these are very light, so your string shouldn't pull through just as long as you glue the top of it up there at the top. And then I'm just going to glue the hat right down to the little puff ball. And then he needs his little nose. And then I do add a couple of little berries to the greenery there. I think it used to have some on there. Like I said, this is probably like 6 years old, this little hat, but DIY number 2. This one here, I got this idea off of Pinterest. This isn't exactly my first thought in it, but I did have some of this ribbon on hand, and I thought it would be kind of cool to use. I have a curtain somewhere in this house, but I misplaced it. I don't know what happened to it, but it's lace, and it's old and like sun bleached and everything. Like, it needs to be either thrown away or used in a project, but I don't know what happened to it. It got misplaced in my house somewhere, and that's what I was going to use, but I couldn't find it when I needed to use it. So I am using this ribbon, which turns out cute, don't get me wrong. But basically I'm just Mod Podging strips of this ribbon down to make kind of like a cute little design on this. For some reason, some of my ribbon was very wrinkled in certain areas, and I could not get it to lay down. So I had to use a little bit of hot glue in certain areas to get like those bottoms to lay down for some reason. But it all turns out just fine. I did have to do this in stages, because I had to glue this, or Mod Podge it and then dry, and then Mod Podge over it again, because they weren't Mod Podging completely down right away. So I had to make them a little bit more stiffer, so you kind of can see me doing here. And then I do the bottom basically the same way. It just ended up being 4 instead of 5 going around into the bottom. So I'm basically just doing the same thing on the bottom, just going around into a little design. They kept moving on me. But make sure that if you're using these bulbs, don't hold your hot glue or your heat gun too close to them and keep it moving. I had that mistake and I ended up melting it because I ended up getting too close and it sunk in on me and melted my bulb. This isn't the one I had one previous, and yeah, it totally malfunctioned on me. So here I'm just kind of cutting the border around it, and I figured that would be kind of cute to go in the middle of it. It was a little short, but I had some of these other pieces from cutting off the other parts, and I just figured we were gonna piece it together here. You won't even notice. So I did use hot glue on that just to kind of keep it in hold for now, and then we are going to go over that with Mod Podge, but I also go over the entire thing with Mod Podge, and I do this just to make it completely easier to paint. Being a plastic clear bulb, I wanted it to be a lot easier to hold paint instead of me having to paint it 3 different times, and it worked out beautifully. So we are going to go over everything with one good coat, and this is how it turns out after it's all painted and dried. I am going to go over that top with some of that antique copper that I've been using a lot lately. I do have to do 2 coats on that because of it being acrylic paint. It doesn't stick wonderful, especially being Mendel. And then I grab some of my golden rule, and I am just rubbing all the way around that lace just to bring out all of those details in that. I wanted that to really pop. And with painting it, it didn't pop anymore. I mean, it didn't pop as much. So we wanted to bring out all of those gorgeous details. And I actually really love how this one turned out. DIY number 3. Now these ones are not my favorite. I did go in completely with, oh my gosh, what color did I use? It's a DIY paint, and I believe I went in with Skeleton Key. I think that's what it was, because it was kind of more of a grayish blue at first. I did that because there was a lot of icicling going on with these, and then I go in with just some white acrylic paint to do the snowman here, and I do dry brush into the Santa beard here. I'm kind of going for a little bit more of a vintage Saint Nicholas look on him, but these weren't the worst, but I just wish I could have I wish I would have went into a little bit more detail with some of these. I do start painting the hat on the snowman a little with black acrylic paint. The issue I had with it is that this was kind of my first day that I was just busting out all these ornaments and all the crafts. This isn't the only stuff I did this day. And I was just getting so exhausted and burnt out. And I got to a point to where I'm just like, okay, I had enough. And I ended up just settling with what I had. And that was my problem. And I mean, I hate to say it, but I was just kind of like, okay, I'm just going to leave it the way it is and just deal. And I don't want to be that way. But that's kind of basically the way it ended up turning out. I do go in with Barn Red for his hat. And then down below him, there's greenery and some like poinsettia flowers. So we're going in with the Barn Red for the poinsettia flowers. So like I started going into some detailing with it at first. As you can see, I skipped quite a few of this stuff because otherwise it's just going to get way too long for you. And then I'm out of frame here. I'm basically going into it with some white paint and just outlining that snowflake. That's the one I'm holding as a snowflake, and I'm just outlining the snowflake. But as you see, I did the greenery down there in like a excuse me, in like a metallic green. And then I did the star one over there with metallic green below it. I did do like a cobalt blue for his eyes. And then I'm going in with the copper again with the star. But this is kind of when I'm starting to get just like I've had enough, and I wanted this is my original thought, was I wanted to bring out like the color of like ice. So my original thought when I painted this gray is that I wanted to do this and do like the Shipwrecked color and kind of do like a blue grayish color to bring out kind of like that kind of a icy effect. But a couple of them, like the snowflake, I just basically did the entire thing. I didn't, go in. I could have went into a little bit more detail with it and stuff. I just basically did the entire thing with the Shipwrecked and that blue gray. And then I just finished this one off with the same concept. Like I said, I felt like I could have done better, I guess. And the snowman one, this one, I really felt like I could have enlightened more. I'm just I'm just not happy with my work on this one, guys, if you can't tell. It's not like they didn't turn out nice. They do. But it's just, they're not my favorite. I'll just be honest. I just feel like I could have done better. But let me know down below what you guys think. I do end up adding string onto these off camera. I didn't know I wasn't filming, but I do end up adding string to these. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Which one's your favorites? Final reveal. I mean, I think the gnomes are absolutely adorable, and that's why they're my first. I do like these ones, and I do like the bulb one. That one also is very cute, but let me know down below which one, like I said, is your favorite, and definitely go check out everybody in the playlist, you guys. This is going to be a doozy. I'm going to be releasing one. I'm going to try to release one every day. There might be a few of them that I'm not going to end up hitting, but this is going to be a 12-day stretch, you guys. This is going to be the 12 days of Christmas, so it's going to be 12 days in a row. So definitely have that notification bell clicked, please, and come back and visit me, because I'm going to be here. So definitely go check everybody else out on the playlist and give them some love. And I hope to see you guys around. And I hope you guys have a great week. God bless to all of you. And again, let me know which one's your favorite down in the comment. I do think the Santa turned out pretty good, though. I do like the Santa. But I do like that bulb as well. God bless everyone. Bye.